Running a brokerage is hard work, so whether you're focused on building your own sales pipeline, hiring the best agents, leveling up your team's production, or protecting the culture you've built, you're in the right place. Real estate brings the challenges, and we share the solution. Welcome to the show dedicated to broker entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Brokerpreneur Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Brokerpreneur Podcast. Today we got an incredible special guest. First, I'm going to say hey to my co-host. Oh wait, I can't do that. Dr. Ben's not here, so I can't say hey to him. He's in the middle of something else. I'll be completely honest with you. I think he's watching the Masters. You know, it's finishing up, and he was like, Matt, I'm going to watch golf instead of hanging out with all of you. That's not completely true, but we all know Ben well enough to know that's probably the case. But anyway, so today I'm here with Amy Graves, and Amy is with AMG Innovative Consultants, and we're going to talk to her a little bit about what she does and how that can really impact brokers. But before we do that, everybody, if you would like and subscribe, you know it helps the algorithm. You know it helps us make sure that we get our message, which is great for brokers, in front of as many brokers as possible. Enough of the advertising of Brokerpreneur Podcast. Let's really dig in and talk to our guest. Amy, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. So let me give a robust introduction here. Let's see if I can do this, okay? Because Ben's usually the brains behind all this. So this is Amy Graves. Like I said, she's with AMG Innovative Consultants. She is the owner and founder, and she's also known as the Giggling Google Guru. See, I'm so close, right? So close. And I'm sure we'll find out why she's called that in just a second, but she really focuses in a lot on SEO and a lot on how to make people's websites not just function well so that people get a better user experience with it, but also to make sure your applications and the other things that you're doing show up better in the search results. And so the brokers out there, we know that everybody needs to be able to, whether it's for recruiting, retention, or person productivity, we know that we need our website to work the way it's supposed to. So we're super pleased to have Amy on the podcast today. Amy, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good. So tell us a little bit about, if I didn't start with, how'd you kind of end up where you are? Tell us a little bit about your background. If I didn't start with that, Ben would yell at me later. So I'm going to make sure that we start with that. I'm going to make sure that we start with that. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up where you are? How did you decide that you wanted to work in the SEO world from a consulting standpoint? Give us a little bit of that.
I don't know if anybody actually decides to work in the SEO industry. I think it just lands on you. I've got 2 decades experience working in retail and customer service, doing everything from, starting off as that top diamond sales associate all the way up to regional operations manager for a major retailer. But when I moved to California, I found employment difficult to come by, and I decided to finally pull out all the guns and start my own company, because I had been known as the girl that could go in and take closing stores and make them profitable again. And I typically could take a $500,000 store, make it an $8 million store in about 2 years.
Nice.
So I'm like, I shop a lot of small business. How can I support small business? So March 2nd, 2020, I opened an online business to help small business owners. Well, it was appropriate at that time, and I'm still here. The beauty of 2020 is it really showed me how we're doing search engine optimization wrong. And it really walked me through a process of what is it we really need to do to ensure our small business owners are staying open. And what I realized is my few years experience already is I've got a set plan now that doesn't matter if you're e-commerce or if you're service-based. The plan is the same for everybody. And that's what got me here is COVID. COVID got me here.
I hear you. You're not the first time we've heard that, Amy, believe me. Amy gave a lot of people, COVID gave a lot of people, not just Amy, permission, right, to be able to go do some of the things that you wanted to do. That's so killer. So let me, so we both know Yvonne Dam, by the way. We both think the world of Yvonne, right? She's super smart. If you all haven't listened to, our podcast with Yvonne or any of the, we actually had an event with her where she talks a lot about delegation and everything. She introduced us, and as soon as we heard about Amy, we're like, oh my gosh, we got to get her in front of the brokers. in part, and Amy, I'm gonna break it down to a real simple level to begin with, okay? Can you
Perfect.
really tell us truly right now, tell us the truth, what the hell is search engine optimization? Tell us really what it means, okay?
SEO. Okay, here's the truth. I believe SEO is dead. SEO is about those backlinkings. It's the tech thing. You need to hire some magician on the back end to make sure Google sees you the way you want to be seen.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way. That's not what
Okay.
you need to focus on. You need to
Love
focus on your user. So
tell us more about that. Focus on the user, because keep in mind our listeners are brokers. They're real estate brokers, right? And so
Yep.
what they want is they want real estate agents, their current agents, to be able to use their site for things. Some of them want buyers and sellers to come look at their site and pull things off of there and raise their hand and say, I want to do business. But they also have careers pages, right? And so they have a place where real estate agents can meet brokers, maybe in an unofficial capacity, until it comes time for them to meet in an official capacity. Okay. So with that being the case, if it's really about the user, tell us what's something a real estate broker could do that would help with that experience, that even somebody that's brand new, that thought SEO was still alive, even somebody that believed that, what's something that they could do that would help them out?
all right. So I kind of went over the whole point, but SEO is about, you want to get found on a search engine. So someone who doesn't know you exist finds you. But the problem with SEO is you're focused on the entire world coming to your website. Do you want the entire world to apply to work for you? You want a specific person, right? You need a personality type that will maybe work best with within your group. So the difference with what I do in focusing on that user, let's just take your careers page. You're looking to bring in a specific person. Think about what they say they're looking for in their next career. Don't think about the real estate side of it. What are the other aspects? That's what you're going to work into your Google description, and that's what you're going to work into your content flow on your careers page. Right?
Okay.
So you're talking to the person you want to work with you. That's who you're focused on. Don't worry about the rest of the world. I mean,
Right.
I can get you a better conversion rate because the 10 people who came to your site wanted to be there than bringing
Right.
in 10,000 and no conversion because none of them wanted to be there.
Because it's too broad, I'm assuming.
It's too broad. The other thing is it's going to hurt your rankings long-term. Google's whole thing now is engagement. And this is why I love Google Analytics 4. I love data.
So tell us Google Analytics 4. Okay. So talk to us about Google Analytics and how everyone needs to have their website connected in some way through that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that. And then let's talk about the excitement of Google Analytics 4.
Okay, so the big thing is you want to make sure that you know how to measure your traffic. So what you want to do is you've got your careers page set up for that person you're bringing in, but you need to make sure you know you're bringing in the right person. And you know that through, are they engaged and spending time on that page? The more time they have. Yeah. So so the more engagement time you have, the more value Google sees in your website. The more value you have, the more likely they're going to send you more traffic.
Gotcha.
So my goal is all my clients should be at a 1 minute minimum engagement time across the site. Because most sites engagement time is 10 seconds. So if you show a 1 minute value, all of a sudden you're getting that traffic. But now we got to make sure the content is right and we're bringing in the right traffic who you want to work with.
That makes so much sense. Yeah. So if you've got the right people and the right message, they're going to stay there longer. And Google's playing a matchmaker, right? So Google's basically like, oh, you guys had a great time talking. Is what it's basically saying.
I bet you're going to like this person. Let's try this person next.
Yeah, that's killer. That's killer. Okay, so you mentioned something about Google description. I know those are super important, right? So your Google description, can you talk to everybody a little bit about that? And then let's circle back to Google Analytics and how everybody needs to have it hooked to their site. Okay. But
Yep.
can you talk
So-
about Google description first?
Yeah, so your Google description is going to vary depending on what site you're on and how you can implement it. If you're on WordPress, there are some themes and builders that ignore Google descriptions. So you're going to lose out if you're using those theme and builders. But the Google description is the description that shows up on a search result page. So it's the title, it's that little blurb of 160 characters maximum that you're allowed. And it's the whatever, it's that link that takes you then to that page. So the Google description is every page has to have its own description. Your home page cannot be the same as your careers page, right? They need two distinct descriptions. All it is you're giving people in as few as words possible what that page is about. Because the biggest misconception about websites and search engines is search engines don't connect to your website. They connect to a web page.
Okay.
So
Cool.
so each description should be geared towards what are people searching for that they need to be on that page for.
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah, so your careers page, your description, your SEO title should be real estate or careers, your brokerage, your, whatever your company name is, and then something fun, maybe number one employer, right?
Right.
Something fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so helpful. I did not know. I mean, I think probably like a lot of brokers. I mean, I think I understood it, but I don't think I knew it.
Hey, Dr. Ben here. I hope you're enjoying this episode. If sometimes you feel overloaded or alone when it comes to building your brokerage, I want you to know that we are here for you. There's so much support available to agents, but hardly any dedicated to brokers. I want to personally invite you to schedule a complimentary strategy call where Matt will help you build a 3-step profitability plan that will immediately produce results. This is not a sales pitch. There's no obligation. Simply click the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the show.
The search really linking to a page, right?
Yep.
And so that's a big deal. I appreciate you sharing that. Now let's talk about Google Analytics for just a minute, right? Because Google Analytics is kind of where that's kind of your report card, right? Of what's going on with your website. And in order to do that, if you really care about understanding your report card with Google, then you need to use the program that Google says use in order to understand your report card, right? Am I close on that?
Yes. At the end of the day, Google is a marketing company.
Right. Absolutely. You know it.
Think about it that way. Yes. Yeah. So Google Analytics, one of the reasons I can do what I do is because I love data. I've always, even when I was turning around, retail stores, it came down to reading my P&L reports and understanding where money was coming and going and seeing that human interaction. That's what Google Analytics does. It shows you how humans are interacting or not interacting with your website. And now you can develop a strategy based on that. So the key things you're looking at on a Google Analytics, and this is a huge thing because in 86 days, Universal Analytics is being retired and everybody will need to be on Google Analytics 4. So the big thing is they measure engagement time per page, not site. So what pages really get the most engagement. And if that's what you want and it's in the right order, you're doing a great job. If your number one page is the contact page and no one's really stopping on your homepage, you're probably getting spammed a lot.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, that's killer. And you can tell all that by being connected with Google Analytics, right? It tells you
You'll know how many, you'll know who was on what page and how many events, scrolls, clicks, watches, everything that happened.
Okay, so you love data, okay?
I do.
Not every broker out there loves data. Okay. So right. And so let's say that I'm a broker, that I want to make an impact on my recruiting. I want to make an impact on my office. I want to have a better website, right? That engages more with people because I know my lead volume is going to go up if I have better engagement. But man, I just don't want to lean into Google Analytics, right? I don't want to, I don't want to, get all that figured out and have to learn all of that. So I engage someone like you, right? I hire someone like you and I say, hey, look, you help me out with my site. What's the first thing that we would do together? And how can I monetize that as a broker? What could I do that would make that financially beneficial to me? Do you help people, just get more site, so that they do get at the contact page and put their information in? How would it help me working with you to help me grow my business? Tell me a little bit about that.
So what my end focus is, we need to make sure your website is converting. Conversion, like even in the SEO world, conversion is the thing, and conversion is the one thing traditional SEO people can't get you. Conversion rates take roughly a year, and you're looking at maybe a 1 to 10% conversion. Interestingly enough, with all the work I've done, and I've put a lot of focus on that user experience, I've got a 90% conversion right now with the people that are in my programs. So it's a slow start. It takes about 3 months to start seeing those conversions happening. But once you've got the strategy in place, that's the end goal, right? So let's put a dollar amount on them. One of my last clients was an interior designer.
Okay.
If you guys need a hookup, let me know. I got a great interior designer I can introduce you to. She had, with one client to her, was equal to $130,000.
Okay.
Right. And that was 2 months of work.
Right.
So no matter what I charge, at the end of the day, you're still looking at a minimum of whatever your one client can bring in for you is what you're going to start to see. But the thing is, it's going to progress.
Right.
I'm not going to get you 100% results in 3 months.
Right.
The point of what we're going to do right away is we're going to make sure your website is loading quickly, and so that the people who come to you can see it. That's
Right.
the biggest thing that's stopping. Is my method, it works as long as your website will load.
That does seem like a key point, I would think. Yeah, because it's frustrating. You go to a site and all of a sudden everything's not popping up. And what do people do? They close
They
it,
go
go back
somewhere
to the
else.
search, they hit back, right? They bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go back and they find your competitor to go to. You want to be
Right.
number one, you got to make sure your website loads, and you got to hit the standards Google has set. Like, your Google standards are your website should load in under 3 seconds.
Okay.
In the real estate world, the average website I see loads in 22 seconds.
Holy cow.
There's a lot of issues on, and it's going to come down mostly to your design. So there's a lot that we're going to remove to make it easier to load. One of the things to consider is if you use IDX has a 10-second load time.
Okay.
So I haven't figured out the alternative to IDX.
Right. And people want to see it though. People want the information data exchange, is what that means for the brokers that don't know, but the information data exchange, that's what's displaying that property information.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people come to the site. But you bring up a great point. If I'm trying to drive traffic to my website, do I really want to have my 10-second minimum IDX time on the same website that my recruiting page is on? Maybe I have a completely separate recruiting page so that it does load in 3 seconds, so that I'm not having that IDX issue with the other part, with my other piece of my site, right? And so that way it's just loading. That way that one thing is loading immediately, and I stay really hyper specific on my careers page.
Yeah, and your career. If you absolutely need IDX on your website, I would have a careers page as a landings page, completely separate. So if you use that system, I want to take it back a second. And here's where the conversations I go with the real estate agents I work with is, when people come to your website, are they looking for information on you, or are they looking for homes?
Yeah. So great question. So let's talk for a second about brokers and then agents. Cause
There you go.
Okay.
2 different things. Yep.
Absolutely. So from a broker standpoint, I mean, I think part of what brokers do is they say, oh, well, people have to be able to search on my site, but maybe the broker part is really not about what the search is, and they can go to that. And then when they want something else, they can click and they can actually go to the site. You can still, maintain the lead and capture it and all that kind of stuff. That probably actually makes it easier to maintain those 2 sites, come to think about it. Amy, you're an absolute genius. Has anybody told you that?
That's why I'm the Giggling Google Guru.
You got that out the first time. I couldn't get it out the first 3 times I tried.
I've been saying it for 3 years. I hope I can say it.
Good point. So that makes a lot of sense. Maybe they are there to see you and then find a way of getting them to the site that they're expecting to load slower, because there are all the pictures and there is all the information, and they are going in and calling to get the information that's the most accurate as possible, because it has to be. So
Yep,
that's a great
yep.
point.
Yep. And I think that's why my system, I think, works across the board for so many different industries, is because we understand humans want human connection. If you're going to someone's website, it's not about necessarily the product or the service.
Right.
They want to know you, and they want to know what's the benefit of working with you. What's that positive outcome?
Yeah.
Everything else falls into place.
Right.
Those are your 2 key things you got to remember when you build a website.
Yeah, because the internet, everyone knows that the internet gives you a ton of choices, which means a ton of competition. So it's not like you're going to come up with some specific thing that nobody's ever heard of, especially whenever it comes to real estate for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's you. You were the thing that nobody has specifically heard of. They've heard of all the other stuff before, but you're that one specific thing. So that's a fantastic point. Okay, so Amy, I know that you're coming on to we've got some masterminds coming up that you're gonna join us on. Yep. We're also going to get you on Brokers Open podcast so that you can talk a little bit more about the agent side of things. But before we do that, let's how does everybody get in touch with you? I think the best way, you said, is in part by your email, right? Amy Grade at anymainstreet.com, correct? And we'll make sure we put this in the description. But how else can they get in touch with you? Where can they connect with you on social? What's your web address? All that kind of stuff.
Web address is really easy. It's anymainstreet.com. Don't look for my official name, because it's way too hard to type out. anymainstreet.com. You can find me on all the socials though. Facebook, it's AMG Innovative Consultants, LinkedIn, Amy Graves, and as well as AMG Innovative Consultants, and Instagram. I like Instagram.
Yep,
you won't find me on TikTok. I've got enough issues with TikTok. We're not going there.
I hear you. Well, that's fantastic, and we'll put all those links in the description. So we appreciate you being on here. We know that you're going to be connected. You're going to be talking to us a lot about all of this. We've got a lot of other segments coming up and everything. So if any of the brokers have any questions, just reach out to us. We'll make sure that you get connected with Amy. Amy, thank you so much for being on here today. We really appreciate the Giggling Google Guru being on here. How about that? What's up? And we appreciate you being on here, and we look forward to our next conversation. Guys, as always, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say thank you so much. I appreciate being here. It was fun to talk with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to try to throw this out there. This is what Ben normally does, and he does it so proficiently that I don't even pay attention to it because it's done so well, but I'm going to give it a shot. So you can listen to us on Stitcher, Deezer, Spotify, any of those places. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you get notified when we put out new episodes. If you have any questions, reach out to us at support@prospectboomerang.com. And as always, we just want to be part of your win. I did that horribly. Ben does that so much better than me. He's going to never let me hear the end of all this. So anyway,
you did great.
Amy, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you on here again.